Welcome to the Mulligan Menace. Today we're playing some Tinybones Discard. First, please hit that subscribe button below. We have daily videos that we post, so if you'd like to see that content, subscribe to the channel. Also, please, everybody hit that like icon below. That helps out the channel, helps it grow. We are only a few months old, so it does really help me out, so I appreciate that. Leave comments also. If you like decks like this or if you want to see something different, just comment below as well. All right, let's get into this deck. A couple weeks ago, or I think it was last week, that I played a discard deck that was a little larger than this, and I really liked Tinybones, the Bauble Burglar. So this whole deck is kind of built around Tinybones in this sense. This has some neat abilities to it. It's a 2 casting cost, 1/3 legendary skeleton rogue. When an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile. And mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. The other ability, though, is pay 4 mana, tap, each opponent discards a card, activate as a sorcery. The nice thing about that is that prevents you from having to even cast any discard spells. So let's say you have no hand left, you're still able to make them discard when you have this in play, which is huge, especially around something with the Bandit's talent that you have. We do have the other Tinybones in here as well. We have the Tinybones joins up. We got 2 of those in there. Kind of has a similar effect as the Ruthless Negotiation, where it just forces them to discard. But it has that secondary ability: when a legendary creature you control enters, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. We have a bunch of legendary creatures with the other Tinybones. The other Tinybones is the 1 casting cost, 1/1 death touch. Whenever an opponent or Tinybones deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell. So you can just picture, as you're going through their hand and forcing them to discard, which cards you want to cast and kind of in what order you want to discard them. We do have 4 of Duress here, just a staple card to get stuff out of their hand real quick. We have 2 of the Intimidation Tactics. It's nice because you can utilize cycling on this as well. I did mention the Ruthless Negotiation. It does have that secondary ability of flashback. You pay 5. You get to also draw a card as well as force them to discard a card. Sometimes you're just going to cast this as a draw effect from the flashback, so just keep that in mind. We do have the Bandit's Talent. This is one of your main win conditions for dealing damage. We do have 4 Dark Confidant. So the nice thing about this card in this deck, almost everything is 2 casting cost or less. We only have 2 cards that's more. And what's nice is if you need to get rid of the Dark Confidant and you happen to draw a Rankle's Prank, that's what this card can do. You can actually force yourself to sacrifice a Confidant. So that makes out really nice. Momentum Breaker is a star in a deck like this because it does everything. It removes creatures. It also can force your opponent to discard cards, and it also gains life. So in those decks that are creatureless and you are stuck with removal in your hand, this can still be used as a discard spell. Against mono-red aggro, you can force them to discard a creature, and you can gain some life as well. It is pretty crazy what you can all do with this card, and it fits perfectly in a deck like this. Shoot the Sheriff. Just a nice little removal. We have 2 of those in here. Strategic Betrayal. We only have 1 of these in here. The issue with this is obviously it kind of turns off our Tinybones and our Burglar. And another thing to remember also, the Ruthless actually allows you to exile a card from their hand, which also doesn't work well with the Tinybones. So keep that in mind when you are forcing them to get rid of stuff in their hand. There is a possibility that it's going to go away rather than you'll be able to cast it. So you want to arrange your removal around that. We do have Cruelclaw's Heist. We have 2 of those in the deck as well. And then we do have 2 of the Rankle's Prank. This card is an underplayed card in the format. 4 casting cost, sorcery. You can choose 1 or more of each player discards 2 cards. Each player loses 4 life. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice. This is kind of a late game card that can really help you out, or it can be a sweeper for some of those pesky white-blue enchantment decks, things like that. You'll actually, I think there's a video that I actually wipe out their board with that. it is just all around handy. And the nice thing is if you can get them down low enough in life, you can just close out the game by doing that 4 damage. And if you happen to have Bandit's Talent out, that 2-card discard is a killer for them. So a lot of times this can actually equate, if you have 1 Bandit's Talent mixed with a prank, a lot of times that can equate to 6 damage because you already have this on level 2 just by firing that up. Land-wise, we have 19 swamps, 2 demolition fields, 2 Soulstone Sanctuaries. Soulstone Sanctuary is really handy to follow up after a Rankle's Prank to get some damage in. Demolition Fields, just get rid of those pesky man lands and things like that that are there. Otherwise, there is situations where they have that blue draw discard land, which you want to get rid of as well. So all in all, this is a low to the ground discard deck, but man, is it fun with Tinybones. You're going to see in the gameplay just how well this actually operates. So let's get into the gameplay. All right, we go first. This is kind of a weird hand, but we'll try it. Use as removal or hand removal. The nice thing is even if you're on the draw, they're going to have 1 less card in hand, so it actually makes it a little easier for you to get rid of the stuff. What are we playing against? Split Up. That's actually a pretty good card to discard. Well, let's go to town here. All right, we're playing against the Artifact deck Synthesizer. Let's just keep going at them. Okay, that's same as a discard, so it doesn't really matter. Let's do this first, and then we can follow it up with the Tinybones. And then we can actually Perilous Snare Tinybones' Perilous Snare if we need to. Get the Tinybones down. See if he wants to counter it. Nice thing is if they waste a removal, it counts as a discard spell, basically. If he, even if he wants to drop like a snare or something to get rid of it. It's kind of in a tough position right now. Do like his name though. Got Milk. Yeah, he wants to do so much stuff with his cards, but he really... I mean, that's probably the best he could have done. Cycle it. Well, we do have another Tinybones. So we don't want to get rid of that with the snare. Clay-fired bricks is actually not the worst. That's Tinybones here. Force them to discard. All right. I think the clay-fired bricks is probably... Yeah, I guess that really doesn't matter. Yeah. We should have fired up our Sanctuary and attacked in. Forgot that it only searches for the plains, so... Repurposing Bay is pretty good here. Pass, my turn. We could do card draw, but I think the discard is almost more important. We don't want to bring any... Ooh, we can bring back Snare. But do we save the snare? Oh, we can Dark Confidant and snare. How about we do that? Their Dark Confidant out. We'll be able to do a negotiation next turn. They do have the synthesizer in hand. Okay. Well, maybe we will force them to discard. Oh, snare's pretty good. Let's grab that snare. Good game, good game. All right, let's take a look at this. We got a couple of good cards here. We do have 3 land. Get our Tinybones out, but first I think we're gonna drop Intimidation Tactics, maybe followed by the Ruthless Negotiation. Let's keep it. Let's see what they got in their hand. Oh, look at that. Lots of land. They do have a Shelter by Ghost. Which means I think they're going to drop the Vendor followed by Shelter. Which leads me to want to drop something like... Alright, let's actually drop the... Huh. Yeah, let's do that. Start getting this... He's going to target the Shelter, I would think. Or target that with the Shelter. Which is fine, because we can use the Rankle's Prank then to kill their creature. Oh, we got another Rankle's Prank. We're going to hold off on casting Tinybones because we're so close to the Rankle's Prank. 3 blind mice. We'll just leave it back as a blocker. I mean, they're going to shelter it anyways. It doesn't really matter. We'll see if they Banishing Light it. Okay, land would be perfect for us right now. No blocks. Alright. I might actually utilize this ability to get them to discard. I mean... I really want them to use the Shelter by Ghost. I think we can take one more hit with this. And then the pranks... Okay. There it is. Okay, they're left with the Vanishing Light. So that Tinybones is going to end up getting Vanishing Light. They can pay their 1 as well. Get a token on it. Have them discard it. I don't want to lose 4 life. We'll do the 2 creatures. We're going to get another Tinybones. I don't know if we want the Rankle's Prank here. That was pretty decent for them. We'll get our Tinybones out. We'll be able to start casting their stuff. Deck is working like we want it to. And actually Banishing Light. Get our creature back. We'll cast the Spellbook Vendor. Good game. Alright, opponent goes first for this one. I think this is actually a pretty good hand. We got 3 land, Duress, and his talent. We even have a little bit of removal. Ooh. Well, we want to be aggressive with trying to get rid of some of this stuff. I don't think they probably have anything in their hand, but... yeah, Channeler. Okay. Momentum Breaker will be our play. Could have forced them to discard the rest of their hand. We don't want them to gain life. Okay, they're going to go down to 1 card here. That's interesting. Well, let's be a little more aggressive here. These Ruthlesses are kind of rough in our hand. Okay, they start taking life. Momentum Breaker's pretty good. I can drop a second Bandit's Talent as well. It's funny, these actually treat it as kind of like a Pseudo discard spells just by them having to play those. Let's fire that up. Get this out. Have them discard. Shelter. Alright. Stack in. Let's grab the channeler this turn. Good game, good game. All right, opponent goes first on this. We don't have any fast removal, unfortunately. We're going to try it. This is a little slow for a hand, especially when you're on the draw. Okay, momentum breaker is going to be important here. We'll just go there. Probably going to have to use Tinybones actually as a death touch, but we'll see. Really need to draw land. If we can draw land into Rankle's Prank, well, that's pretty good. Second thought, I should have probably Cruelclaw Heist that, because they're going to kill this thing right away. I guess it counts as a discard then. Let's see what they do. Alright, we're going to look to see what they got going on in their hand. That is funny. Alright. Well. We want to get rid of the full bores because that gives a haste, doesn't it? Guess what? No, it doesn't. Is there anything that gives haste here? Well, full bore is pretty good. They don't have removal, though. I mean, I can make a discard, but this just feels better. Save our momentum breakers for the creature itself. Yeah, let's stack in. I should have probably put out a momentum breaker. Yeah, they're getting frustrated by their draws. They shouldn't have kept that hand. They thought they were going to go wild with the one. Just because, let's get this down. Should have done that before. We would have got a little extra attack in. All right. He can go ham on this. We'll get rid of it at the end of the turn here. He can make it pretty large. All right, we can... start out with a duress. Rid of the full bore. We can make them sacrifice their creature. Oh, should have waited on the duress, I guess. They do have the momentum breaker. Okay. We will get them to sacrifice that. We do have the Wrinkles Prank, which we can do 4 damage. Basically have to draw a haste creature here. Which they can still easily win if they do. We just haven't drawn the right things ourselves. I think we're going to start sacrificing these to gain some life. They really shouldn't be dropping their lands. They should be keeping those in their hand. But I guess they think we're going to cause them to discard them anyways. Okay, gain some life. All right, it's starting to feel like the salt is going on here. To be expected. All right, my turn. The Tinybones joins up. Make them discard. See if it's like a pump spell. That would be really awesome. Especially if it's +3. Because then we could do Wrinkles Prank next turn for lethal. Alright, I guess we'll still use it. Hey, there we go. Fortunately, we won't be able to fire it up. We'll take 2 damage next turn, 4 damage. And then... Okay, land does it for us because we can activate. We can attack in. Wrinkles Prank. And they'll take 2 damage. Good game. All right, opponent goes first. We actually have a really good hand here for discard. Let's hope they're a creature deck. It doesn't look like they're a creature deck. We'll give it a whirl just in case. Look at that! We can get rid of Gran. Okay. They'll have Quenchia. Okay, we don't want to draw any creatures anytime soon. I guess we do this. Just get it turned on. That way we can do negotiation. It'll quench you. It'll quench you. We want to get all 3 of these out of their hand. Before we drop our creatures. Fire that up. And they got their 3rd land, so they got creatures they're able to cast now. That's not too bad. We're getting up to that Ruthless ability here. I think we're going to cast the Dark Confidant just so they go after it. We'll see if they try countering this. They don't. Well, let's just get rid of that. Either that or I go for the Tinybones. I mean, they got 2 there. They're instants as well. Cycling a 3. Each of these is basically going to be a discard. Let's just do it. We'll get the Dark Confidant down. They're going to kill it right away, which is fine. They did wait till their turn so they can kick up the prowess. Ah, that's unfortunate. They drew another removal spell. Let's just go after them, draw a card. Okay, Duress is perfect. They're starting to take damage. Let's see what we got working here. Get rid of the removal. We can double drop creatures. Oh. Yeah, let's get rid of that. We don't draw cards or anything. Let's just fire this up so we can get our draw going. He's going to kill either of these that we drop, or I'd rather force them to go down. Okay, that's a really good card for them. Although it's only 2 of 3, so that means he can only get 1 card out of that. This is actually a good spot to try intimidation tactics. Perfect. Well, let's get that down. Let's get Tinybones down. He'll gain or lose 2 life here. I'm hoping he targets the Confidant. He's not. All right, that's fine. I'll block. We got the second Confidant. We got another card draw here. So we're actually in pretty good shape. Let's get rid of this. Don't want them drawing cards. All right, take 2 damage. Ah, never mind. That was a perfect card for them to have. Gran. Okay, we'll have them sacrifice something here. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's... Still Gran. Oh. Strategic Betrayal. That's good to get those out of the graveyard. That way they can't fire up their other stuff. Have them discard their last card. Attack in. They try holding something up, we'll use the duress. Otherwise, we're just going to use Ruthless Negotiation most likely here. We'll get to draw a card off that. Good game, good game. All right, we're on the play here. So this duress is going to be really good. We'll be able to get one of the burglars down quickly. Depending on what they drop, we might even go for a pickpocket. Let's keep it. Okay, they got some removal here. Duresses. It might seem silly, but we're going to go after the Unholy Annex. That's a death knell to a discard type deck. Alright, they're going to get rid of our momentum breaker here. Let's do the burglar first. He's going to cast a Cecil. If I would have done the pickpocket, he could have just killed it with the tragic. Alright, we're really looking for a discard spells here. Fortunately, we can actually next turn with that. No deck. Start making them discard. We're going to take this. I'll block. Well, that's an interesting one. I think we'll hold that off until they get another creature in play. Make them discard for now. Sanctuary. They're being incentivized to get rid of the burglar. 2 spells to get rid of it? That's crazy. Well, we're going to cast another burglar. Be able to Soul Stone. We can Intimidation Tactics, just to make sure they don't got any other creatures going on. They do. Cover up, we're not really all that worried about. We can force them to discard that. I think we dropped the Tinybones. We can get that Unholy Annex out if they attack in here. Good game, good game. All right, we go first. This is actually a pretty good hand to go first with. We'll keep it. See what we got working with. This will depend if we want to go Tinybones or Heist. Rest in peace. Well, that does defeat our kind of Tinybones plan. I'm not sure if it matters so much. I would rather get... Okay, he's gonna... I mean, he's gonna drop this first. Let's do this. Authority of the Councils is coming down no matter what here. We want to get that Elspeth out of their hand before they get to 5 land. Let's do this, because then we can force them to discard the Elspeth, and we'll be able to cast it on turn 5. That's fine. Let's see what we got going on here. Tinybones is a little more useless now. Another authority. Okay, well, let's just grab the Elspeth. It's just a 1/1 Death Toucher at this point because he has no graveyard. We could start using the ability of the Burglar. Okay. Really do want to draw land. Let's do this. Let's go our Confidant. They're going to gain 2 life. Make him discard. Probably a Plains. Ooh. Interesting. All right. That's fine. Okay. You got nothing else going on here. Well, that is an unfortunate draw. One, 2, 3, 4 damage. I mean, let's just do that. Get our momentum up. Oh, shoot. Okay, they had to play it right away, otherwise we would have discarded. But that's a sorcery, though, so it didn't really matter. Well, this is kind of thwarting attacks. We'll be able to draw into something here. Fortunately, Cruelclaw exiled that didn't discard. We're kind of stuck here. This is unfortunate. Kind of an odd position to be in. I mean, we'll wait one more turn with the Confidant, see what goes on, and then we could start attacking it, I guess. Don't want to take too much damage with it. I guess we can always sacrifice it if we get a Rankle's Prank. Yeah, 1/1s aren't helping us here. They drew an Elspeth. I mean, they need a land too, but if they drew an Elspeth, we'd be in trouble. All right. Let's first force them to discard. have them sacrifice a creature. No attacks. They want to attack in, that's okay. There we go. That's what we were looking for. We'll fire this thing up. No attacks. We will Momentum Breaker next turn, have him get rid of another creature. Like I said, Elspeth is still going to be a tough one for us. Yes, I can discard your card. I have another one at the ready. They're forced to just play the card. Alright, well I guess that saves us the hassle of having to force them to discard it with the Tinybones. We'll do a Momentum Breaker. I think we'll just fire this up. We'll attack all in. They can block however they want. Here we're going to take 2, possibly 4 if he gets... Oh, Elspeth can't even do it there. Let's fire that up. They almost have to leave it back for defense there. So 4, 8 they'll take next turn. Another dark. Draw 2 more cards. Alright. Make that a creature. We'll attack all in. He's hoping we deck her or kill ourselves with the Dark Confidant, which is kind of funny. They do gain 2 life off that. We do have the Momentum Breakers, which we're going to start sacrificing to gain life. Huh, interesting. Playing it out. I mean, they're dead, but they're playing it out. Not really great draws, actually. Turn on that. Yeah, you're dead any way you look at it, buddy. Don't forget about the bandit's talents. Good game. Tinybones for the win. This deck was fun to play. I like the ability on this to be able to discard. Casting creatures for your opponent is just awesome no matter what. Obviously, we have the pickpocket as well as the burglar that can do both of those, so that is awesome. Do love the prank. I mean, I might put more of these in here because it always seemed like I wanted to draw this and I just didn't get it. But I suppose with 4 Dark Confidants, if I'm a little more aggressive in playing those, you'll be able to find these a lot easier. But man, I actually struggled to find my talents in some of these games, but I still was able to close out. So it's really awesome to see how resilient this is, even with it being so low casting cost, close to the ground kind of deck for what we see here. So I really do hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Please hit that subscribe button below. We have new videos every day. Also, if you could hit that like icon and comment below how you like the deck. Have a fantastic day.